There are many tales of things that exist in the Appalachian Mountains, and why it is advised to never hike alone and always keep an eye on your children when camping. Today's list comes from many areas in the mountains, and there are some that still have sightings to this day. We have always left it up to our readers to make up their own minds whether or not a story is fact or fiction. Do you agree with our list? Which one of these stories made you not want to go into the woods at night alone? Let us know in the comments section down below. Number 5. The Wampus Cat. While the Wampus Cat is often thought of as a mythical creature and often portrayed as such in today's media, they are very huge and real creatures of myth and legend to the Appalachians and the Cherokee Nation. The Wampus Cat has several names depending on the region. It is often called the Wampus Cat, Galliwampus, or Whistling Wampus. The Wampus Cat is described as having yellow or green eyes. The eyes are described by Native and non-Native Americans as piercing into your soul and driving a person to insanity. It is also said that the creature can run on 2, 4, and 6 legs. Some regions have the creature with a ball of spikes at the end of its tail. The Wampus Cat can be seen just as darkness falls after sunset or right before the first light of day at dawn in the woods of the Appalachian Mountains. It is also said to be amphibious, as it is often seen leaping into the water and swimming. There are 2 Cherokee legends around the Wampus Cat. According to the Cherokee people in the first version, the Wampus Cat was once a beautiful Cherokee woman who witnessed a forbidden sacred ceremony. Before each hunt, the warriors of the village would meet in the woods to ask for forgiveness for the lives that they had to take for food and to ask for help and safety in a great hunt. It was forbidden for the women of the village to witness this ceremony. The woman watched the ceremony secretly and was caught in her curiosity. The men grabbed and dragged her into the circle. The angry shaman cursed the woman for her lack of self-control and for breaking the spiritual laws of the ceremony. Because she had wrapped herself in cat skins that became her own, and she was cursed to walk in the forest forever as the Wampus Cat. According to Cherokee folklore in the second version, the spirit of madness was roaming in the woods near a village. The shaman and the war chiefs sent out a call for their best warriors to hunt the creature down. One of the warriors, Standing Bear or Great Fellow, depending on the version told, was chosen to do the hunting. He was blessed by the shaman and the elders and kissed his wife goodbye. After a few days, he was found driven mad by the animal. In response, Running Bear, the man's wife, created a mask to hunt down the creature. She snuck up on the animal, and when it saw the mask, the insanity hit the creature instead. She ran as fast as she could back home after she had defeated the animal. There are no current sightings of the Wampus Cat. Number 4. The Lizardmen of the Appalachian Mountains. All of the sightings of the Lizardmen describe it as being bipedal or walking on 2 feet. The Lizardman is thought to be 7 feet tall, weighing in at about 300 to 400 pounds. It has green snake-like scales, has 3 fingers on each hand, and has a head shape and face of a lizard. The Lizardman has huge red eyes. The sounds coming from the cryptid are described as bird-like sounds. The first recorded complaints and sighting happened in Bishopville, Lee County, South Carolina. On July 14, 1988, the first strange call came into Lee County Sheriff's Office from a resident of Browntown. The caller claimed that an unknown creature had destroyed their car overnight. Sheriff Liston Truesdale began his investigation into the damage. According to the police report, there had been tooth marks with scratches, muddy footprints, and hair left behind. As he interviewed several of the residents of the town, he began getting stories of sightings of something strange. Tommy Davis brought in his 17-year-old son, Christopher, to the sheriff's office on July 16, 1988. According to Christopher, 2 weeks prior, he was taking a shortcut home at 2 a.m. from McDonald's. While on this road, he got a flat tire along a rural road. After finishing changing of the tire, Chris looked up and stood face to face with the Lizardman. Davis quickly got into his 1976 Celica and tried to drive away. The Lizardman jumped on top of the roof of his car. Davis then began to swerve, brake, and do other defensive driving until the creature slid off the roof of his car. He then sped away from the scene, terrified. To make sure that Chris Davis was telling the truth, the sheriff had him take a polygraph, in which he passed. Shortly after the story of Chris Davis became public knowledge, more stories began to be reported. Some of the stories seemed to be plausible, while others seemed to be a fabrication of active imaginations. The second place for possible sightings happened in Woods County, West Virginia. There have been many cows and other farm animals that have been reported killed by some strange animal. There have also been reported unexplained damages to cars. There have been other sightings of a fast-moving creature in the wooded tree line that looks like a lizard-like creature. There have been several shows about the Lizard Man or the Lizard Demon of Woods County, West Virginia, but there is no actual reported witness statement concerning their cryptid. There are no current sightings of the Lizard Man of Appalachia. Number 3. The Snallygaster, the Dragon of the Mountains. Some descriptions of the animal talk about it having a long, pointed, metallic-like beak that was lined with razor-sharp teeth that occasionally had octopus-like tentacles that came out of its mouth to grab the victims easier. And, like a monster squid, the creature could change its colors like a chameleon. It is also described as having claws like steel hooks, an eye in the center of its forehead, and enormous wings. The Snallygaster is thought to have 2 large feathered wings, a large horny head, and a 20 to 30 foot long tail. The animal is said to make screeching sounds like a locomotive whistle. The Snallygaster is thought to swoop down and silently grab and carry off its victims to drain them of their blood. Newspapers ran wild in February through March of 1909 with stories of locals meeting against the Snallygaster in the woods of Maryland. Early in the issues, it seemed that the Snallygaster was seen and heard everywhere at once. In the same year, in New Jersey, footprints in the snow made by the Snallygaster were discovered. Near Scrabble, West Virginia, the Snallygaster was close to snatching a woman, but missed its chance. Near Sharpsburg, it was thought that the Snallygaster had laid an egg that was the size of a barrel in a farmer's barn. A man in Casstown, Ohio, reported the strange creature that flew over his area and made a terrible screeching noise. These reports escalated in February 1909. The article proclaimed that a man had been snatched by the giant Snallygaster, that the creature had drained the man of his blood from his jugular and dropped his body against a hillside. Near Cumberland, Maryland, a man who operated a brick-burning kiln saw a sleeping Snallygaster. When it awoke, it let out a huge scream and flew away. In Hagerstown, which is south of Middleton, the Snallygaster was once again seen flying high over Lover's Leap after laying another large egg. The last reported sighting by the newspaper occurred on March 1909. 3 men fought against the Snallygaster outside of a railroad station for an hour and a half. They managed to defeat the animal and ran it into the woods of Carroll County. The last sighting of the Snallygaster came to us from Montgomery County Sentinel on August 17, 1933. The cryptid had been spotted by at least 40 residents of Washington, Frederick, and Upper Montgomery counties within a 2-week span. The creature was usually flying low overhead near Braddock Heights in Frederick County. There are no current sightings of the Snallygaster. Number 2. Dwayyo, the Werewolf of the Mountains. The Dwayyo is a humanoid creature that is reported to stand between 6 to 9 feet tall. Sometimes it is described as being on all fours like a giant dog. Other times the creature is said to stand on 2 legs and use its arms like a human being. Some reports have the creature being a mix between a dog-like animal and a human being. It is often described as being wolf-like in appearance. Other reports have the creature with a long, thick, furry tail. Others describe the creature with long hair and others with short fur covering its body. The fur is described as dark and in some cases as being black in color. It has a dog-like nose. The Dwayyo has a vicious temper and will attack any creature in its path. There have been reports of attacks on dogs and other pets, also cases of cattle mutilations. There have been many documented reports of campers, hunters, hikers, and park rangers who have all claimed to hear the howls or have spotted glimpses of a Dwayyo. The reports describe it as a wolf or large dog howling. In 1944, in West Middleton, Frederick County, Maryland, the first report of the Dwayyo occurred. The witnesses to the account claimed that the creature was heard howling in the wooded area and left footprints behind in the mud. For a while in the community of West Middleton, the community was disturbed by the descriptions. However, no other sightings were reported. This claim, while documented, was dismissed, as no other sightings were seen for many years. The newspaper of the Frederick News Post on November 27, 1965, published a detailed account of an encounter with the creature. It was reported that John Becker lived near Gambriel State Park. He heard a noise one night and went out to investigate what it was. He spotted a large wolf-like creature that was as big as a bear. The creature attacked Becker and he fought it off. The creature ran into the woods and was not seen again by Becker or his family. For several weeks after this report was published, there were several sightings and people hearing strange howls for weeks. By late December of 1865, these stories began to fade as the community returned to normal. In the summer of 1966, a man named Jim A. reported seeing a Dwayyo enter his camp and described the creature as being wolf-like in appearance. In the autumn of 1976, another sighting took place while two men were driving on Route 77 onto a private road. The two men reported the creature as also being wolf-like in appearance. In 1978, two park rangers were near Cunningham Falls when they spotted a wolf-like creature running on two legs. There have been no current sightings of the Dwayyo. Number 1. The Woodbooger, or the Boogerman. Ever since I was a child, I have been told about the Boogerman. But is he real? Well, according to many cited reports around the mountains, he really is. He goes by many names: Yeti, Bigfoot, Skunk Ape, Sasquatch, Squatch, and Ape Man of the Mountains. The Boogerman made the top of our list because the sightings are still being reported to this day. Notorious for living in secluded wooded areas, the stories of the animal seems to be set in either western coastal mountain range, such as Washington or Oregon states, or in the Appalachian Mountain range. The most common sightings have been in northern Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, southwest Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and New York, with some sightings also being reported in Ohio. The animal is reported to be somewhere between 6 to 12 feet in height, covered in dark gray, light gray, brown, black, or reddish hair instead of fur. It has broad shoulders, thick arms and legs, and a muscular build. Those who have gotten close to its proximity report a nose-burning combination of body odor, skunk musk, sulfur, or rotten forestry and cabbage. Either way, the smell is putrid. Some reports say that the creature has long, sharp claws and large, jagged teeth, and that its eyes glow at night. Notoriously elusive, many televised hunts for the animal have come up with nothing. However, there are vocal recordings of the screeches, howls, growls, and other noises in the forest that are attributed to the animal. There have been several grainy images of the animal being shown on television shows and in the news media, and several people have faked their sightings for publicity and the chance at fame and fortune. Most of the sightings follow along the same lines, and are way too many to list individually in this post. However, the stories all follow either a lone hiker or a group of hikers that will be exploring in the woods when all of a sudden they get a whiff of something horrible. The hikers complain with a sudden urge to vomit because of it. Then, the animal is sighted looking back at them. It will usually just walk away, but in most of the reported cases, everyone runs in the opposite direction when they spot the animal. There is a Woodbooger sanctuary in the Flag Rock Recreational Area located in Norton, Virginia, and the area throws a Woodbooger festival every year. Many countries such as Russia, France, and Germany all have placed the cryptid on the endangered species list, with hunting the animal to kill it being illegal. Sasquatch refuges have been placed in these countries. In several states in the USA, it is illegal to hunt, trap, or shoot a suspected Bigfoot. With the invention of camera phones, drones, and GoPros, we suspect that there will be more sightings to come with more documentation. Did you agree with our list and the order that they were listed? Which one of these cryptids would you dread to see on your hike? Let us know in the comments section down below. Thank you. We at Kentucky Tennessee Living would like to thank you for watching our video series on the Appalachian Countdowns. Don't forget to hit that like button, as the more likes we receive, the more likely YouTube is to suggest our videos to other viewers. Also, to receive notice when we upload a new video, be sure to subscribe and click the bell notifications. We thank you for continuing to support Kentucky Tennessee Living as we are discovering the mysteries in Appalachian history.